2024 was one of the worst summers Bengaluru experienced. Many suburban areas ran out of water. The prices of water tankers shot up. This forced the authorities and the public to focus on water sustainability in the city. Today, we are addressing the issue of achieving water security for Bangalore. Joining us is an esteemed panel. The chairman of BWSSB, Mr. Ramprasad Manohar, is with us. Also joining us to discuss about the perspective of the real estate developers in the city is Mr. Mallanna Sasalu, CEO, Provident Housing, Puravankara. Also joining us is Ms. Usha Rajagopal, lake conservationist who has worked closely with local communities, and S. Vishwanath, pioneer in rainwater harvesting. This conversation is brought to you under DH Bengaluru 2040, sponsored by Puravankara. Mr. Mallanna, as Ramprasad sir pointed out, use of treated water is one thing which we'll have to focus on going ahead if we have to sustain for a long term. So how has the construction industry transformed to it, especially after the crisis? We have seen a lot of builders shifting to use of treated water. So how has it transformed as such?
First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity. And Deccan is doing a fantastic job of bringing people together into this dialogue, and we're, as Puravankara, we're very happy to sponsor it and be part of this thing. We have to look back a little bit, and particularly we have the people that who build so many apartments and so many housing developments that we do in the city. Today, if you look at, there are 3,500 decentralized STBs across the city. You're talking about the treated water. Treated water is coming from those STBs. Effective usage of those STP water is very, very important, because the STP water is used for only two purposes internally. One for the flushing purpose, the other one is for the landscaping purpose, and we always have excess water in the system, and that excess water must be reused, right? So what is the problem? The problem is in the logistics. Logistics says that these 3,500 units are in different geographic locations. Construction is happening in different geographic locations. And mandating the developers to use the treated water only for the construction. BWSSB has done a fantastic job that they have curbed the entire industry from using either the groundwater or the supplied Kaveri water for the construction purpose. That think people are going to be heavily fined, and I think there must be some even criminal cases are going to be filed if we are going to do that. The challenge here has been the logistics of making those water available. And in fact, BWSSB has come up with, under the chairmanship of Mr. Rao, it has come up with the idea that we can, the Apartment Owners Association of the Federation can actually sell the treated water for 8 rupees, and 6 rupees is collected by the association, 2 rupees for the facilitation charges for the BWSSB. It's wonderful. But again, it's BWS is also marked down by the transportation of this water. The transportation of this water, because we don't have so many tankers. The tankers which are there, they are supplying fresh water. And these water cannot be brought in the same tankers. And so I think there must be some methodology which we need to think about to color these tankers separately, and how we can support BWSSB in acquiring more tankers. And also, I believe that there is, whenever there is a logistics problem, the only way to solve this is through technology. We need to probably have some kind of an exchange program technology. For example, I'm developing 1,000 units apart. And let us say that my requirement is so many KLD or MLD of water per year or whatever it is. Right? I say that this is the water that I require. And somebody should be able to say, I am here to sell you. I'm only 1.5 kilometers from here. And that should be able to do that. And I have put together, from Puravankara Provident Housing, put together a sketchy outline for that, and I will discuss with Mr. Chairman at some point of time to see how we can bring this one together so that the problem can be solved using technology of the treated water. So that's basically what we are looking at. Yeah, so we are mandated by MOEF, KSPCB. I don't think there is a single developer today can escape more than 25 units or 50 units. that everybody needs to have the sewage treatment plants. Can talk about the sewage treatment plant quality and other things as we move forward in our discussion. But the only thing that we need to look at is if they are all so distributed, how do we bring that together in some form so that it really is utilized? And that will be our challenge.
And the crisis also kind of got a lot of people to think about water security in their own houses or apartments they buy and all of it. So that way, sir, a lot of people before buying the properties now think about source of water, how sustainable it is and all of it. So how are you as the developers, what is Puravankara looking at in ensuring for the future? Any new designs or what is it that you are looking at, sir?
Just before that, if I may, if you're allowing me, I just want to make one comment about this filling up of the lake with the treated water. So I was saying that these 3,500 treatment plants that we have, most of them are the old type, the conventional type, sludge removal type of treatment plants. What we are, as we go forward, what we are looking at today is that membrane system and then something called ultra filter, ultraviolet, UF and UV. And this is the mandate that probably MOEF and KSPCE are going to come in future. If you really look at any city or geography, it is going to have certain level of contours. For example, in Bangalore, the border from north to east it goes. For example, from Hebbal to Nagavara Lake to Rampura Lake to Iremalappa Lake, and then goes off to Tamil Nadu. It goes in that direction. What happens when the civilization happens and when the wastewater is produced, wastewater also has to follow through the gravity. But what we did in our absence of our application of our mind, we started leaving the sewage to the water into the gravity, and it's finally reached so the medium SSB in the last 30 years, they have very strategically located the treatment plants in those locations where it is treated and it is left. But still the treatment level has to go up as we go forward so that the water becomes to a level where the smell and the turbidity and other things comes to the normalized level of a natural water. That's the comment. The second question, the question that you asked is that as Puravankara or as developers that what we are doing. So there is what we need to understand is that if you really look at a developer's estate, like a city like Bangalore, 70% of the usable land, that is the roads and the parks and the open spaces, 45% of the land is owned by the government. Another 35% of the land is owned by private people building their own houses or the offices and this and that, etc. And what developers develop is only 15 to 20% of the land area, and that's all we develop. So we are given undue credit for anything that goes wrong in the society as developers. And also, we want to be the contributors to this, whatever the good things that we are talking about today. But if you look at our span of control is limited to whether 5 acres or 10 acres, 50 acres, that what we are developing. We are not, our span of control do not go beyond that. If I want to generate water, for example, there is a comprehensive development plan. What has happened in our city is that the development has happened ahead of the planning itself. We call it as comprehensive development plan, right? And we have forgotten the meaning of the word comprehensive, right? The reason being, it's not about blaming the government or everything works in certain pace, but the development has happened so rapidly. If the BDA, or the Bangalore Development Authority town planner, says that this is the area that is regulated for residential development, it is accepted world over that it has already got the water supply, it already got the drainage system, it has already got everything. You're only going there and develop. As a developer, that is what I'm supposed to be doing. Today, when you're asking that, how do I bring water? I can tell you that there is no developer in the country who can bring Kaveri water to his development. It's not possible. The only other option I have is to dig the borewell. If I dig the borewell, that also we have got limitations. So now the question here comes is whether you want a housing to be developed or not in the city. For the lack of infrastructure, water or otherwise, whatever may be the electricity or water or sewage treatment, or whether we should be developing or not. So if we say that, yes, we need to develop, let's give the license to these people, means then we should be looking at comprehensive. How do we find solution to this? As developers, what we are trying to do is that we are doing the rainwater harvesting system. That is MOEF at case we have mandated how many recharging pits must be there. we've gone one step ahead to look at the hydrogeological tests on all our projects that we do to find the aquifers level where they are, to actually figure out where should these things be. The recharging pits, the shallow water recharging pits should be. And also we go to an extent of finding the bore wells which have been dried up. In the state of Karnataka, we have more than 2 million bore wells which are dried up. They have dried up not because there is no water. There is still water in the aquifer. It is just that we have not been able to recharge them in a scientific manner. So we recharge them. And of course that I spoke about the treated water. All our projects have ultra filters and we are going to be implementing the UV as we go forward, so that those waters can be brought in and used for construction purpose or any other purpose. And the bio bonds and other things, wherever that it is possible, looking at the size of the developments that we do. As I said, our span of control is limited to the land that we own, and whatever the natural resources that are there is the only one which I can use, right? And of course, we are doing a lot of collaboration with the agencies like BWSSB. And now, can you believe we are saying that BWSSB has to supply water. BWSSB is supplying water from, just now Mr. Ram I was speaking, that bringing water from Kanakapura Road or Kanakapura D from there to Tanisandra and beyond in Bangalore North is not something that is an easy task. These things take time, but the development has overtaken the planning and the execution of the infrastructure. So we are all responsible for that. We have to find a way and to solve the problem. So thank you for this again. I think Mr. Chairman articulated what is the role and responsibility of individuals and public in terms of managing this kind of the water consumption and other things. As developers, for us, that we are very conscious of the fact that whatever we made in use for 75 years, concrete used for 75 years, today the infrastructure that we put together is what is the infrastructure that is used by the public for the next 35 years. So we have to be mindful of the fact that what infrastructure, like the dual pipeline system or the better sewage treatment plants and other things, and we are committed for the sustainability. In my opinion, it is everybody in the ecosystem coming together, not only just the government or the developers or larger institutions. I think the general public, the users, and the responsibility lies with all of us in terms of looking for the water. 2023 was a bad rainy year for us. We really had a drought in Bangalore. This year the rains have been fantastic, and I'm sure that we do not have, as Vishwanath said, that it was an exaggeration that the Bangalore has run out of water. Bangalore is going to become a dry city or something like that. I think, we can really have faith in the system, and I think they're doing well compared to many other cities in the country.
All right. So before we close, I would like to ask all the panelists one thing, one goal, or one suggestion that stands out for Bangalore 2040. What would your goal be for Bangalore 2040 with respect to water management?
We are a business house. We are here to provide the greatest value to the customer for every rupee they spend with us compared to any other competition. That's our goal, right? Within that, the sustainability is one of the pillars. That is, compared to any other development, we want to develop projects which are highly sustainable in terms of water, electricity, sewage treatment, or solid waste management, or any other thing. Because we firmly believe that the way we put together the infrastructure is the way the people are going to live in it. So we take that job very seriously, and that's going to be in 2040. We want to be the contributors to that, saying that yes, we have contributed to a level wherein that zero wastage and water efficiency at the highest level, and in every possible sustainable developments is what we want to develop.